Bernie Sanders has won West Virginia. Now, he needs to win a lot more. We've gone through this before, and he was before tonight down about 290 delegates. Over the weekend, he picked up a lot of delegates, even though he lost the one election that was happening. He picked up a good number of delegates from the state of Washington because they finally counted district by district, which is what they had to do with the 67 delegates. I believe he picked up 49 of the 67, which is a really great number. That's because he won by a really large margin in Washington. In Maine, one delegate switched over to him, and so it minused from Hillary Clinton, one to him. He lost Guam, and there was a whole 7 delegates at stake, and it was 4-3 for Hillary Clinton.
But what if Guam is the last state she wins?
Okay, you stole my joke, but it's better, like I originally said it on Monday. What if Guam is the last territory she wins? Okay, so anyways, it won't be the last anything she wins, because if you believe in the polling, and we actually do, New Jersey looks like it's really solidly in her side. And so
it's the second biggest state yet to vote in terms of delegates.
Going forward.
Going forward.
Right. So now, look, there was a scenario under which Bernie Sanders picked up momentum, and enough momentum that he swung the polls in California, which were against him by about 6 points for a little while. Now they've actually expanded combination of polls against him in California about 10 points. So it's gone backwards a little bit. That's because he didn't pick up that momentum, and people are crazy. They like to vote for winners. Like, it makes no sense. Who do you agree with more? I don't know, the one winning, right? But they do. We're monkeys, and so we like alpha males and whoever's winning, and we like to give our bananas to them. Mm-hmm. So he's gone backwards a little bit there. That's why the momentum did matter, and so there's just not much runway left at all. And so. And let me be clear about the math as well. So some outlets, as usual, are, let's say, obfuscating by using the superdelegate count. And they're saying she only needs 7% of the remaining. She's got 93% of the delegates that she needs to win. So she only needs 7% more. If you believe that and you think the superdelegates have already voted, then she's going to win, imminently, right? There's no way you can overcome that. Now, we think that you could make an argument to the superdelegates at the convention, which is when they would vote, right? And if you are just looking at pledged delegates, well, he still has to win this was before West Virginia, 66% of the remaining vote. That is really, really, really hard. It would take some sort of massive sea change to be able to make that happen. Now, he wins in West Virginia tonight. For the moment being, not all the results are in as we do this live, but it doesn't appear that he even won 66% in West Virginia. Now, that's a tough standard for him, and if West Virginia was one of the first states voting, I'd be super pissed at anyone expecting him to win 66%. But he does have to win that going forward, so we're definitely running out of runway here. That's just a reality.
Yeah, I think that's a very accurate and fair assessment of the situation. And it's hard to accept the fact that the candidate that you're really rooting for has a smaller and smaller chance of being the nominee, but it's the fact of the matter. The math is there, the proof is in the pudding, and I don't think that it's impossible. I mean, he has been proven to close gaps in polling. He has been proven to prove polls wrong in the past. So anyone who still wants to support him, I totally agree with you in continuing to support him. Anyone who says that he should drop out, I don't agree with them, because I think that as long as it's not impossible for him to win, he should continue. The longer that he continues on, the longer that he campaigns, the more opportunities he has in spreading a very important message about what we need to do to solve political corruption in the country. So that's one of the reasons why I will support his decision to stay in the race, regardless of how difficult it is for him to climb that steep hill and win a nomination.
That's absolutely right. I'm #still Sanders. And so when people are, say, oh, yeah, you're so delusional. No, I'm not delusional. I just told you the math, and that's a super cold, hard reality. Mm-hmm. But I live in California. When California primary comes around, I want to vote for the person who I agree with, not the one who's winning. Well, that makes no sense whatsoever, right? What if Donald Trump was winning? Would I have to vote for him? So it's preposterous. So of course I'm going to go. If you couldn't tell, I support Sanders, but we're very upfront about that, right? I'm not a surrogate of his. I haven't endorsed him. I don't know what that means anyway. But it's super obvious that I agree more with him than I do with Hillary Clinton. So hence, I will vote for Bernie Sanders in California. And you all should, if you think that, and if you support Hillary Clinton, you should make sure you vote for her. The reason is the number of delegates they have give them some degree of leverage. So if you're on the Sanders side, it gives them, even if he loses, which again at this point looks likely, it gives them more leverage to pursue the progressive agenda.
Exactly.
And that's the agenda that you wanted to vote for him for in the first place, the agenda that you care about. I don't know any Bernie Sanders supporters who are like, I don't care what Bernie's position is, I'm with him, right?
No.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know a single one.
What candidate would have a ridiculous hashtag like that? So content free.
Right. So pretty much every Bernie Sanders supporter likes him because of his positions. So if you like those positions, you give him more power, and the more he could push those positions forward, whether it's at the convention. I know the party platform is stuff people talk about on TV and really doesn't have much of an effect at all. And the presidents, when they get in, I've literally never heard the party platform mentioned outside of the time around a convention. Mm-hmm. Like I've never heard a president in the second year of his office go, wait, what does our party platform say? Right. So I'm not overstating the effect of that. I get it. But there is a certain reality to it. There's an article today in the New York Times that Hillary Clinton is pushing even further left on Medicare. So that leverage is real because she's trying to win over the Bernie supporters. What she's seeing in the polls is, I haven't won them over yet.
Right.
And the attitude of constantly yelling at them to bow their heads isn't working. I can see in the polling that it isn't working. So let me try a different route to try to appeal to them. There you go. That's right. And the more votes that Sanders has and the more leverage and power that he has, the more she's more likely to get on the record as supporting progressive positions, which makes it a little harder for her to reverse it later.
A little harder.
And by
but
the way,
she's done it before.
And
So.
I know, but look. Let's also be honest and real and factual about that, right? Yes, I think, are almost universally convinced that she will flip-flop back on TPP if she's the president, and we'll support it, and she'll do that trade deal. And I think we would all be relatively shocked if she didn't. Maybe Michael or Ben might not be as shocked, but everybody on this panel would be, right? But that is not true of every issue. So on the minimum wage, by insisting on $15, Bernie moved her to $12. He might yet even move her to $15 because now she's trying to take credit for the $15 minimum wage in New York, right? And she's not going to go back on that. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it works. And so now that costs corporations a little bit, and they're annoyed by that, right? And that's why they'd rather support a Republican. But it doesn't cost them nearly as much as regulation or the taxes do.
Right.
So yes, we got something out of it. But you know what? If you were a minimum wage worker and you were making $7.25 and now you're making $15, that's not a little something. That's a lot, right? That's a big difference in your life.
Life-changing.
Right. And so Sanders has already done a great job on that, and he can do a better job the more votes and power he has.